The left-wing Muslim millennial has won the New York mayoral race.
So he's a Democrat candidate, Zohran Mamdani, and he ran on a platform that promised city-owned grocery shops and scrapping bus fares. Donald Trump said if he won, the federal government could withhold funding for New York City.
Minutes after the result, Trump posted on Truth Social, "It begins." Delighted to say we're joined now by the former White House Communications Director, Anthony Scaramucci. Very good morning to you.
What do you think begins, Wolf? What begins?
Well, this is the big... let's get straight to it. Do you think he's going to genuinely try and hold back funding from New York? Do you think he's really going to make an enemy in practical terms of Mamdani?
Well, first of all, during the shutdown, he's already cut the mass transit stuff, so he's upset the whole municipal bond market, and he's slowing down now the infrastructure redevelopment around the city. So that was already phase one. I think phase two is they're going to want to make the new mayor a punching bag for the left. He's probably a centrist here in the UK if you actually look at the new mayor's policies, but in the United States, they would target him as being hard left, and I think the president wants to use him as a punching bag and a poster boy to try to make the contrast between the conservatives and Mamdani. And listen, I wish the guy well. I live in the city of New York. I did not vote for him, full disclosure. I grew up with Andrew Cuomo, so I supported him. Mm-hmm. But he's our mayor. I live there. I'm not going anywhere. It's like I tell Spike Lee, you and I are going to shut the lights out on the city. I'm a New Yorker, so I'll be there to work with him and to try to help him to the extent that he wants to help.
I'm interested in your take about how much we should read into this. You know, is this just like one man in New York, a charismatic leader in a city that's Democrat leading, or is this a wider thing? Is this like a wider thing against Donald Trump and the Democrats finally getting their act together?
So, I mean, that's such a great question. I don't think we'll know the answer to that, Sophie, until 2026 or even 2028. Is he a signal or is he just noise? And I think the big generational thing here is that people younger than me feel very upset with the political leadership. They feel the political leadership has failed them. The city is ridiculously expensive. If you're a young person in the city, it's very hard to make ends meet. And Mamdani, like Donald Trump, campaigned on one message. If you really hear Donald Trump, he's saying one thing to the American people: immigration, tighten the border, restrict people, push people out of the country. And that did work for him. What the new mayor is suggesting is affordability. And so I'm not certain that his policies are going to work to make the city more affordable, but that's the number one issue in that city. And frankly, Andrew Cuomo didn't have that message. It was a little muddled.
It's interesting.
He needed a crime and safety message, but he wasn't really speaking to that.
Cost of living is such it is in the UK as well. It really feels like a huge thing.
Tell us about the way that he connected, because he used a lot of social media. He's young. He's energetic. I mean, we've been using this word as well. He's very authentic, and it's kind of it gives you a snapshot comparison to a year ago, where obviously Kamala Harris didn't have to go through a primary process, was sort of forced upon people. He brought people with him.
Well, he did so many things. He's a very talented guy. You have to just be as honest as possible. He's charismatic. He had a great social media team. He's an improvisational person, which is very, very important for today. When Andrew relaunched his campaign as an independent, he was staring at the camera and talking like a robot and speaking like he was on a teleprompter. And this guy doesn't do that at all. He's just right in there.
We're trying to liven up our show and make it less teleprompter.
I should say, I think our director just had an area you guys could learn from that.
Okay, well, was that an underhand comment towards us? Yeah, exactly.
No, but what I enjoy about your social media, Wolf, is you're so tall. All we can see is Sophie. Yeah. Okay, we're catching you at like the mid-chest, and we're able to look at Sophie. Okay, so just keep standing tall.
I'm also
in these social media.
Yesterday,
pictures.
My share just collapsed mid-show as well.
Yeah, so I know. All the tricks.
That's happened to me too.
Bring it back to the state of play more broadly in America. And do you think that Donald Trump is still the overriding? Will he win the midterms next year? Keep both houses of Congress or not?
Well, it's because of the redistricting, and not to overly explain that to people, but there's a big local level governmental fight about the proportional nature of these districts. And so if he wins this redistricting argument in Texas and the redistricting doesn't go through in California, he may win the House again. I think he's going to win the Senate. If you just look at the numbers, But if you look at his approval ratings, his numbers are down to 37%. He's a minus 13. And so I believe that he'll probably lose to the House, but you have this redistricting going on in the U.S. that hasn't yet been resolved.
The other quick question we had to round things off as well is, come back to New York City. I mean, this story can be framed as socialism, all the wealthy, successful people are going to leave. It's interesting to hear you say quite the opposite. You're committed to New York no matter what?
Well, I'm committed to New York no matter what. I think the one thing that he has to be very careful of is 1% of the New Yorkers pay 48% of the taxes. Wow. So you don't want a migration. You know, there is these funny memes talking about social media. The employee of the month from a real estate agent perspective in Florida is the new mayor, right? Because everyone's saying that people are going to migrate to Florida. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm certainly not going to do that. But he's got to be careful because, unfortunately, the very wealthy are mobile. And if he starts to tax them in a way that they feel unsatisfied, and just to remind everybody, taxes are a price for services. So if you're delivering the services, clean streets, clean, safety, opportunity for businesses to grow and younger people to feel like they're in an affordable place, I don't think anybody's going to leave. There's more cranes in New York City than any other part of the United States in terms of building and growth. So I'm long-term optimistic. We'll have to see how he does. And I wish him well. I didn't vote for him, but I wish him well, and I will help him to the extent that he wants help.
Anthony, great to see you. Thanks so much for
joining us.
joining us.
Congratulations on the new show.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.